His next electoral chapter. We have before you today leading presidential hopefuls and possibly take some questions from us. I shall now, as the time is spent, hand over.
Nigerians are tired of listening to slogans. They're tired of listening to speeches, especially as we march towards a very consequential elections. The big question for today is not who wants to be the president. The question is, president for what? And so in this session, we're going to be asking the presidential candidates not what they want to do, but how they're going to do it, how they are going to fund the reforms, but more importantly, whether they are able to provide some of the questions that Nigerians are asking. And the questions are simple. We want food, we want jobs, we want security, and more importantly, can we trust our institutions and whether our votes will count? So this session is not a campaign rally, neither is it an opportunity for rehashed speeches. This session is to interrogate some of the issues that you have put forward and see if we can have a conversation about the future of Nigeria. So I'm going to pose questions to our speakers, and at some point we will come to you for questions. Call you by your name, or I call you Mr. Okay. One thing that the opposition agrees with is that Nigeria needs to be reclaimed, and our current trajectory needs some repurposing. You all collectively agree that to remove an incumbent, you need a coalition. Why is it that the entire opposition has not built consensus around one candidate? Is it a question of ideology? Is it a question of strategy? Or it's your personal ambition? And maybe to be very personal, will you agree to step down for a candidate who, where evidence shows that that candidate has a better chance of clinching victory? And we will go this way because you are seated in alphabetical order. And you have 2 minutes to answer this question. Why is it that the opposition is not coalescing around one candidate? If you all agree that you require a coalition to trump the incumbent.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. We welcome you to Port Harcourt, but to go straight to the point, I disagree with you that we need an opposition to defeat the incumbent. Only if the opposition is opposed to the incumbent. There must be ideological differences. We must be a spectrum of people who are different from the people who are there. If you support removal of fuel subsidy, you are not different from the government in power. If you support and live a corrupt lifestyle, you are not different from the government in power. It is the people, the Nigerian people, that will defeat the incumbent, not their friends who do not want to change the old order. The question you also ask is, will I step down for someone if they have better chances? The question is, what do they have chances to do? Is it the chances to continue more of the same or to change the trajectory of Nigeria? I'm not here as a presidential candidate to manage Nigeria's decline. I'm here to change the country for good. If anybody is willing to change the country, I will work with the person. But I will not work with anybody who simply wants to replace the old order with an older, even ricketier order. That's my position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Amaechi.
Well, I bring greetings from former Vice President Atiku, who has directed that I represent him in this conference. Maybe he chose me not only because I'm the vice presidential candidate, but because I'm also a lawyer. Coalition as it is today is difficult to achieve. If it is possible, I'm sure that Vice President Atiku will be willing to participate But the difficulty in it is everybody has ambition. Nobody wants to give up. There are very few politicians who are in love with Nigeria. You can clap as much as you want. There are very few politicians who are in love with Nigeria. What the politicians are doing is just to come in and milk the country dry. I know the question that will come from one of you now will be, were you not one of them? Yes, I'm one of them. It's a quick question, I'm one of them, but when you go out to the street, as you live here, you will see 2 new primary schools I built. They've been abandoned. The road across was built by me. The road here was built by me, so I'm different. And ADC provides for you a different kind of leadership completely. If you can't perform, please don't vote for us. That's our position. If you can't perform. When we were campaigning, especially me, I said to the world, literally every politician contesting for election, apart from him and some few others, have held one position or the other. So why are you finding it difficult to choose from one? Go and do a referendum on all of us. Look at those who have stolen your money. Don't vote for them. Look at those who are exhibiting their wealth. Don't vote for them. Look at those who have governed states and say, what have they governed? What have they done? So coalition may not be able to work because individual politicians have their ambitions and they don't want to give up. And since they don't want to give up, Nigerians should come together and vote for experience and capacity. That's what I think.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for the honor of going to speak to this wonderful audience. Well, when you talk about coalition, the first thing is to ask, coalition for what? If the coalition is for good governance, to tackle the issues affecting Nigeria, I agree on it, and I still think it can be achieved. However, when we talk about coalition, we have to first examine people's records, starting from their background, their competence, their capacity, their commitment and character to be able to drive that new process. If we have somebody who I'm convinced will do that work, of course, yes, we're already talking with each other. How do we come together? Today, the most important thing we need here is unity. But that will be unity of purpose. Unity.
Referendum. We have all served in government. Atiku has served in government. Governor P2B has served in government. I have served in government. All others, apart from he and this, assess us by our last performance and choose. Don't just go because you are from Ikure or you're from Momoko and choose your.
Okay.
No, that's why we're running down.
Okay.
Thank you. I pay my respect to the Nigerian Bar, the learned seat, your lordships on the bench, and fellow Nigerians. The question you have asked is the most important question for the political class. Because the political class, they are struggling on how one another. And who is going to go next to continue mismanaging the economy? People just want good government. They don't care if the professional politicians succeed or not. They care about why is it that every 4 years we hold elections and nothing changes, and if things change at all, they change for the worse. Now the question you're asking has been brought to us before. The Social Democratic Party, which I represent, has had interaction with the professional politicians. There was a time when they wanted to come with a coalition to come to the SDP, and we had negotiations with them. And from that interaction and negotiation, we discovered 3 things. One, that they don't care about ideology. They just want to win and figure out later.
Okay.
In the case of the SDP, we are committed to Chapter 2 of the Constitution, fundamental objectives and directive principle of state policy. If you don't subscribe to that, you cannot even be a councillor in SDP.
Okay.
And they don't subscribe to that.
Okay.
Secondly, we don't rotate power based on ethnicity and religion, your turn or my turn.
Okay.
We do it based on your understanding of the needs of the country. Thirdly, we do not measure candidates with respect to how much money they have, what they call war chest. So for that reason, we are just going to the Nigerian people to form a coalition with the Nigerian people. If, however, because the professional politicians are also part of the Nigerian people, if they come and subscribe to Chapter 2 of the Constitution and subscribe to the ethics and ethos, we will work with them. Thank you.
Expressed the possibilities. But since you have the mic, let's pivot to the discussion on the economy. Now, the most topical conversation in today's Nigeria is the fuel subsidy conversation. Now, I've listened to virtually all of you. Some of you have criticized the policy, how it's been implemented. Some of you welcome it. Last week, the federal government told us that they've saved about 15 billion naira from the subsidies. 10 billion goes to the states and local governments. To the federal government. My question to you, do you support the removal of fuel subsidy? If the answer is in the affirmative, is there something wrong with the way it's being implemented? And if your answer is no, what other policy options do you propose?
Okay, we are back.
You've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
We are back to 4 years ago. 4 years ago, the issue was simple. We said no. We don't believe in the removal of subsidy at all. We said we don't believe. I think Sowore of AAC said doesn't believe.
So just to be clear, you don't believe in removal of fuel subsidy?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
And we predicted what would happen if you went into it. The rest of them, Governor Peter Obi said he will remove it. Atiku Abubakar of PDP then said he will remove it on day one. He will even sell NNPC together with it, and so on and so forth. We said don't do it. And we predicted everything that will happen, and they happened exactly as we predicted it. Now, so the issue of subsidy should not be discussed again, because if you have a patient that has constipation from not drinking sufficient water, and majority of doctors said that we should cut the appendix, and I said, no, don't cut the appendix. Just tell the patient to drink water regularly. After you have allowed the doctor to cut the appendix, another doctor will come and say, we want to join the appendix back. It cannot be done. You've already cut the appendix. The subsidy, so-called, has already been taken out of the budget. The so-called savings, which we knew would not come, has also been spoken for and spent. And additional subheads have overcome to the point where we are even in more debt than before. So the solution is that the Nigerian people interaction with subsidy is to lower energy costs. And I will give you 5 ways to lower energy costs without talking about subsidy at all. Because subsidy is like giving somebody a scholarship to a university that does not exist. The scholarship is useless.
Okay.
Subsidy is not the problem. It is the sustainable supply of petroleum products at a reasonable price with a stable exchange rate. That's what you need to deal with.
All right, thank you very much. Peter Obi.
Well, I subscribe and I maintain that you need to remove subsidy. Mismanagement of the proceeds should not be the reason for not removing it. What we should have done is that when we remove subsidy, we would have given the people alternative usage for the subsidy. What we have today is that that removal and the attendant resources being recovered is also being mismanaged and stolen. For example, we have received, according to them, 16 trillion. We will, I said it before, go to my manifesto and say I will remove subsidy. We'll do it in an organized manner, And whatever we recover will be invested appropriately. And I just give you an example because you have no time. Let's say you remove subsidy and you decided number one thing a nation needs to develop is health. And today our health is very poor, our primary health care is very poor, where we are now have more maternal and child issues than countries like India. Assuming, let me use 5%. You said that they saved 15.8 trillion. So call it about 16 trillion. So 5% of that is just about 800 billion. And if you decide today, our biggest problem is issue of primary health care. If you decide to put primary health care in each ward, just each ward, in each ward, today it will cost you, from our own studies, an average of 100 million naira for one. We have 8,809 wards. Call it 10,000. I use 100 million naira for each. It will cost you 800 billion.
Okay.
If you decide today, we have issue now with kidney dialysis. We have over 25 million Nigerians have kidney issues. To build a kidney center, you need 200 million. And we need about 1,000 centers when we have less than 200. We need about 5,000 machines when we have less than 800. It costs you 200 million to do a center, and it costs you exactly 10 million to buy one machine. So you need 250 to set up a 5,000 machine center, 1,000 center, and it's only 250 million times 1,000 is 250 billion. You still have 14.7 billion. So it's what you use the money for. That is the problem.
Yeah, but
we will use the money in an organized manner.
But just to stay with
or you save it. If they have saved the money and decide to do like any other country, we would have had $10 billion added to our sovereign wealth fund, which if you add it today, we'll be getting about $10 billion every month, which we can use for purpose. So don't say because people use the money they're supposed to utilize very well for party, and you say no, we should bring back. What I've said is that people in government have asked Nigerians to fast.
Okay.
They cannot be feasting when Nigerians are fasting.
Yeah, but Governor Peter Obi, the government will tell with health. They will tell you they've rolled out several health programs. There's the health guards, there's the free cancer treatment. There are several health programs that the government has rolled out.
There's none. I'm going around. I don't believe I physically go around, and I can tell you we have less than 10 cancer centers in the whole of Nigeria.
Okay, let's come to so your principal issued a statement just a few days ago, and it appears he has deviated from his previous position. Is that true?
I want to address the conference standing. Nigeria is in a state of shock. Poor people are dying every day. The reason why people are dying is that when I tell Nigerian economists that we have no economy, they say it's not true, we have an economy. But an economy that does not provide money in the pocket of Nigerians is not an economy. Any economist who says we are making progress and there is poverty in the pockets of Nigerians must be a very bad economist. Now, let me give you figures. Now, currently, we have 11.8 million vehicles. Industries are not working, so we assume that consumption of the industries are not as much as the vehicles. Where is this subsidy money going to? It's going to the private pockets of your president. I call them Alibaba and the 40 thieves. If anybody goes into office as president and allows you to continue to suffer, the person is a wicked man. It will take us 2-3 years to be able to reverse this economy to a productive economy. Anybody who tells you that is a magician. If he tells you that in 1-2-3 years he will turn the economy around, person must be lying. What Vice President Atiku is proposing is not to deviate from removal of subsidy or not. He's saying that in the first 4 years that we take back this office, we will put money in the pockets of Nigerians to be able to buy this fuel. And we're not funding. Can you listen? Can you listen?
Thank you. Please,
can you listen?
To him. Thank you.
I'm coming to the how. The how is we will encourage local production. We will only subsidize local production. How is you provide cheap crude for them to refine and sell at a cheap cost. That way individuals will be able to buy fuel. Now, when they are not able to provide subsidy to provide for cheap production, what happens? You are paying more for electricity, you are paying more for transportation. Everything in the economy is running helter-skelter. We will provide you with all the necessary tools for subsidy for only local production to encourage employment, which will create jobs.
Okay.
Whoever says it's not possible should wait and see.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please, I'd like to make a passionate appeal. Those of us who are standing here, we are recording emergency situations. People are collapsing behind. Please, we plead with you, if you can create space so we don't record to economy. Your turn. We're talking fuel subsidy. Where you stand, should we remove fuel subsidy? And if we do, what do we do with the savings? If your position is no.
If there's anyone who has been consistent about non-removal of fuel subsidy, it has been me. And it took Amaechi and his principal almost 10 years to catch up with me. They have now reversed their position on fuel subsidy. The question about subsidy is, who are you subsidizing? You are subsidizing the elite, you are subsidizing the governors. The only people who are doing well since they removed subsidy are the governors of states. And when they talk about subsidy, they make it sound like they have not removed subsidy before. I was a student in 1989, they removed subsidy. In 1990, they removed subsidy. They said Nigeria will be better. We are in 2026, they are still removing subsidy. They are robbing Peter Obi to pay Bola Tinubu. That is what removal of subsidy is all about. The poor people of this country only benefit from subsidy from petrol, gasoline. There is no subsidy on kerosene. What did they build with it? There's no subsidy on A1 jet fuel. What did they build with it? Please, don't let these politicians lie to you. I love one thing that Amaechi said. He said, apart from Sowore and Adebayo, the rest of us have been in government and we have failed. They have no business coming back. Yes. It is, you guys should be apologizing to the Nigerian people. Let me say one more thing.
Stop lying.
Let me say one
Stop lying, Sowore.
No.
I said judge us by our achievements.
No, I'm adding failure to it.
Say so. Don't put it.
Okay.
One other thing I want to say is that when it comes to subsidy, right, transportation policy is important. We have a former governor of Rivers State here, Amaechi, who built a rail line that went nowhere. If that rail line was working, subsidy would have been working for the people of Rivers State.
Okay.
I'm not attacking you, but your records are here in Rivers State.
Okay.
And we cannot ignore that those of you who have governed before, who refuse to subsidize your people. Peter Obi did not subsidize education in his state. Lecturers and doctors went on strike for 13 months.
Okay.
You may like him as a person, but he did not perform as a governor. That is the truth.
Okay.
And we can't keep pretending that there's nothing wrong with Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Who have run Nigeria up to this point.
Thank you very much.
I will not remove subsidy.
Thank you.
Because the poor in Nigeria needs to be subsidized instead of the rich. We are already subsidizing them with waivers. We are subsidizing their lifestyles. They are driving convoys and big stars and air jets.
Thank you.
We have a duty to return power to the people and subsidize the poor. Thank you very much.
I think that we're here to have a conversation. And in this conversation, I would like to implore, because yes, you have a right of reply, but we will not have a productive conversation if we do this back and forth. So please, as much as possible, let's refrain from any form of attack so we can have, a very robust discussion. Now, let's talk about security. You want to reply? Okay, I give you 1 minute to reply. You can turn on the mic.
I know Sowore very well. He knows I know him very well. Playing to the gallery will not make you win the election. You will not win. Now, why Sowore will not win is not you shouting. There are no more than 24,000 lawyers who are here, and there are 93 million voters. So 24,000 should vote for Sowore and see whether he will win. That's not the issue. Let's go to what he said. Who are those from Lagos? There is Lagos Ibadan Railway is working or not? In my time, it was working. I don't know what's happening on that Tinubu. There is Abuja Kaduna Rail working or not?
What happened?
Now, where are Rivers lawyers? Please take Sowore around. Where are the Rivers lawyers who are present? Take Sowore around.
Okay.
Sowore, I said I built that road. I built this road. I built this primary school. I built that primary school. Sowore, what is your experience?
All right, go.
When politicians are talking, close your mouth.
Yes, you have the right of reply. Yes, you have the floor. You have 1 minute. 1 minute. Thank you very much. Let's listen, please. Let's listen. Thank you.
Let me join others in standing up. Please, mine will not be, I'm not answering, I'm not defending anything. I'm happy that most people from around here. Thank you. Doctors will on strike for 13 months. The only thing doctors have never said is why they went on strike. If anybody here can tell me why doctors went on strike, then I defend it. When I became governor, there was no single school of nursing accredited in Anambra State. Our university did not have a teaching hospital. Our hospitals were not accredited. And I decided after several months to deal with our doctors. When I put money in general hospitals, they transfer it to somewhere else. And I decided, 1 minute, and I decided I'm going to work with the agencies, schools owned by the churches, hospitals owned by the churches and everything. And I started funding them like Iyenu and everything. The judges said, I'm supporting private sector. And we had a disagreement. If the doctors were very effective, in 13 months, there was no mass death. That means something is missing. Because after 13 months, we are still alive. Okay. And they were on strike. Today, go to Anambra State. We have the highest number of schools of nursing, midwifery, than any other state. We have three teaching hospitals. 3 teaching hospitals from our own university teaching hospital to Iyenu, to Boromeo, that teaching hospital today. Because of that decision I took. So it's very simple. If I get into government, anytime the sectors will annoy. Okay. If annoying them means that we will do well, okay, we will do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's talk about security and state capacity. And I'll begin with you, Prince. Now, successive governments have made investment in security. Whether it's increasing defense spending or different programs that have been introduced. Today, the Global Terror Index puts Nigeria as the 4th in the world. In other words, Nigeria is the 4th most terrorized country in the world. Now, the 2026 budget puts funding for security at about 5.43 trillion. Cumulatively, over the last 5 years, CJID reports that we've spent over 6 trillion. In fact, recently, we are told that 31 states of the Federation have spent over 252 billion just addressing local crimes and insurgency at the state. What is your take on the state of security, and what alternatives do you have to address the security challenges that Nigeria grapples with?
Thank you. First and foremost, the theme of our own campaign is farewell to insecurity, poverty and insecurity, and they are linked. Now, once you start to interrogate security with respect to what is in the budget, you have three problems. What is being put in the budget is not for security. It is for the spending of those who are in government. That's number one. Number two, the insecurity in Nigeria.
No, but how do you say it's for people in government? Because we buy arms as a country. Can you substantiate that?
If you have been reading EFCC reports,
yes,
you will see the reports there that shows to you that the money budgeted in the name of security is going to everywhere except security. It's going to buy vehicles, campaign for election, do prayer in Saudi Arabia, do prayers here, sharing, and EFCC is seizing assets, all of them, up and down. Both those who are in politics, those who are in government, and those who are in the military. So don't let us pretend that we don't know. We are lawyers here. We are the ones who go to court to prosecute them or defend them and all of that. What I'm letting you know is that the greatest sin of Nigeria is to pretend that we don't know that something is happening that's happening in front of us.
But what do you intend to do to fix the insecurity?
If you let me even lay the problem where I can fix it.
No, I think we should go to the solutions.
No.
Because we know the problems.
No, you don't. You are misdiagnosing it with your question. The terrorist is your government. The people in government are the terrorists. So how can you say that you want to fight terrorism when the terrorists are in the villa? And the terrorists are running the government. And the terrorists are the one in Zamfara using terrorism to mine gold and use the gold to fund campaign and become chairman of campaign.
Okay.
And you are there, you don't want to recognize that. You don't know that it is those who work in security and those who are in government who are the beneficiary of this kidnapping money.
All right.
You don't know, please. You were attaching all kind of drama here. Let me put facts clear.
I understand, but
no, don't start with
time.
keep to time. You didn't keep to time earlier. Let us respect the rules.
No, I did.
You did not have counting here.
I did keep
so
to
the point
time.
I'm making is this. Let us make it clear.
Yes.
What is clear today, if you want to know the truth? If you remove these politicians who you keep re-electing, they will go away and their terrorist partners will go away. If you keep re-electing them, the terrorists will continue because they and the terrorists are in partnership.
Okay.
And if you are talking of fiscal, okay, in Buhari's government, let me tell you something clearly. In Buhari's government, and some members of that government are here, when they were leaving, in addition to all the stealing, theft, and all of that, they left 33.7 trillion in money they printed without appropriation of the National Assembly. And they used all that money to buy dollar at official rate from Emefiele and turn themselves to trillionaires.
Okay.
So, and all of that money, substantial part of it was taken in the name of security. Therefore, in conclusion,
Prince.
In conclusion,
yes,
your government is more terroristic than the government of Afghanistan or Sudan. So that is why you are under terrorism.
Yeah, but Prince, question. What you're saying, your policy proposal to fix insecurity is to remove the government or those who are in power, because I've not heard concrete things, concrete actions to address things like farmer herders crisis, like the communal clashes, like There's several security challenges we're grappling with.
Okay, let me tell you. All these are the diversionary things. I go around the country. I know 774 local government with my 2 feet. There are no harder farmer clashes anywhere. What you have is this. The people who kill the local communities are not herders. I'm a herder myself. I'm closer to 1 million number of cattle I have, and I've not killed anybody before. So what I'm letting you know is that the government of Nigeria has the thing I'm going to do 3 things.
Yeah.
1, if you govern the mining cadastre properly and identify miners and let miners know that in any territory where you are operating, you are responsible for any killings there, because the killing that is going on in Nigeria is the killing of people, trying to displace people from areas where they identify resources. Secondly, the Office of National Security Advisor, as passed by the ONSA Act, I will amend it.
Okay.
Because that is where they were housing all the problems that are now managing insecurity expenditure framework.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you.
The last point.
If you can do that in 30 seconds.
The last point. You will need to give Nigerians a people's army. I will reorganize the armed forces, not the empty creation of divisions by President Tinubu, where a whole division is not up to the strength of a brigade. I will create new divisions in that, so that the people of Nigeria in Rivers State here, they will be the one running the armed forces to protect them, as you see in England, in Germany, in many places.
All right.
Those are the things you would do. But if you have terrorists in government,
thank you very much.
Any of these things.
Yeah, thank you very much. Governor Peter Obi.
Well, it's a very simple, for me, we have a very serious insecurity problem, which there's a lot of things people can look at. But my own method of looking at it is, first, you need to do a comprehensive overhaul of study of our strategy to security problem today. You need to audit the architecture that is driving that strategy and look at security from human security. So if you are going to deal with the issue of security, you have to do it from 2 areas. A, you need to look at the issue of poverty. Start tackling poverty and joblessness. The more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce insecurity. It is a known fact everywhere. 2, when you now do that, you now look at the criminality, some of which my brother has mentioned, and said on issue of your resources, when you start dealing with the issue of corruption or how people get their resources, you again give it a blow, and you need to look at your alignment between your security forces, staff them properly, make sure they are taken care of properly, and support them. With that, you will address insecurity considerably. Also, supporting local vigilantes. I can tell you, as governor in Anambra State, we pay directly from office of the governor for vigilantes in each community, what each community pick up, arm their people, and that was how we were able to manage insecurity. And that you can do nationally. Deal with the local communities. They know those who are criminals among them. But you need to pull people out of poverty. You need to realign your strategy. You need to support communities. You will reduce it drastically. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I will plead with you to give me more time. The reason why I'm pleading with you is that I'm the only person who has fought insecurity amongst all of us here. When I took over as governor of Rivers State, it was a no-go area. Nobody could visit, and I took a decision. What decision did I take? I withdrew all soldiers from roadblocks. Go back to your barracks. And they did. And the GOC was scared and was mad. They said, why? I said, I know what I'm doing. The first thing I did was, I agreed with Governor Peter Obi that insecurity is a product of poverty. So the first thing is not physical policing, is economy. What did we do? We decided to build over 500 primary schools. For each primary school, you employ 50 persons. We decided to build over 300 health centers. For each health center, you employ 50 persons. We decided to build over 200 roads. For each road, you employed 500 persons. Then, once the economy started improving, crime began to reduce. So, that's why I give more time. Just wait, don't clap. Because I say judge us by our performance and make your decisions. Now, after that, what did we do? We engaged the Nigerian security. What's the problem? Equipment, we buy you the equipment. We went to the president and sought for approval to buy all the necessary equipment that they needed, and we bought them. We made sure there are consequences for action. So the kidnappers had to choose between two options. Option A, I kidnap you, I run the risk of losing my life because they will shoot. Or I go to take the employment at the health center or at road construction or primary school, and I live my life. And they were paid monthly. At the end of every month, everybody received the salary. What did I do? I declared free education. And free education was me going to school, establishing parent teachers community association. I paid the school fees of every child. Every child. I paid it to the association, and I asked them to run the school from that. The responsibility of government is just to pay salaries. I made sure that every health center can take you free of charge. How did I handle that? I went to each health center and paid the doctor for every patient he saw. I paid the doctor for the patient. He billed, I said, bill every patient. We paid. That's why when we talk about subsidies, he said, what is government doing with their money? What is government actually doing? You have removed subsidy from this, petrol. You have removed subsidy from electricity. What are you doing with the money? The money is going to Alibaba and the 40 thieves. Sorry, sir. Hold on. Because I will go to what are we going to do differently from them? What Atiku's government will do differently from them, without 1 minute or two, please. It's about policy. It's not about coming here to showcase. Now, what will the government of Atiku going to do differently from them? If we ensure that we deal with the economy that puts money in the pockets of individuals, then we'll go back to what they are doing now, what Buhari did. What did Buhari do? He got Chad, Benin Republic and others to work together with us. Intelligence gathering, being able to identify these criminals. But if you don't put money in the hands of Nigerians, no matter what you do, crime will be on the rise. If today lawyers can't pay their salaries, if you're not careful, some lawyers will become criminals because crime pays. When you do that and you begin to identify intelligence, key. When I was governor, I knew where everybody was. I knew who was doing what. I knew who entered a hotel and came out of a hotel and anywhere you went to. And that information was passed to me every day. And I knew what to do. Thank you. 13,200 teachers at a group.
I'm going to go straight to my solution to security. Because not only did I study security, I covered the security in Nigeria, I identify the problem. There are 3 stages to solve this problem. The first, of course, is to stop the bleeding. And by this, we must motivate our security agencies. We must provide internationally based standardized system of security. I'm the guy who said I will employ a drone as the Minister of Defense. I'm not joking. I hate the bureaucracy that caused the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. But most importantly, nobody wants to go and die for you when you are paying them 56,000 naira per month. I'm talking about security agencies. I'm the guy who proposed 500,000 minimum wage, and people said it will cause inflation. And I'm asking, why is it that when your senators who do nothing are taking 30 million naira per month, it doesn't cause inflation? Why is it that the governor can steal 1 trillion naira that we all know it doesn't cause inflation? It's only when we want to pay workers who are risking their lives that we talk about inflation. The second aspect of it is, of course, a medium-term process, which includes the job of you lawyers, enforcement of our laws, so that people who perpetrate insecurity don't get away with it. And I'm talking about not only the kidnappers, but their backers. I know, and I agree with my friend, the lawyer there, Adewole, that Nigerian leaders are criminals. They are involved in insecurity. They use their houses, their vehicles, they use their influence. If a major kidnapper is arrested, all these governors can confess to you, they were former governors. The people that intervene on their behalf are rich people. They are the ones who bail them out of the police station. They are the ones who make sure that the legal system doesn't work again. You lawyers know this. You know it. You confront these problems when you are litigating a process. Some of you participate in it. I'm not accusing you lawyers of participating in crime, but some of you do. You help them escape justice. Don't stop me, because you don't stop the big men.
I did stop.
Yes. But most importantly, and that's the last part, that's very important, we cannot solve insecurity in Nigeria without addressing inequality. The reason why our young people prefer to kidnap more than they will stay in school is because it's more profitable to kidnap people and make money quickly, because their leaders are living flamboyantly and they want to be like them. Their mentors are living flamboyantly and they want. So we must address inequality, and that is why, as a political party, the African Action Congress has stated that we will invest in free education so that children can stay in school. There are 30 million of them that we need to take off the street. That is 13 million potential kidnappers that you are put in school. We are going to build 1 million homes, public homes, mixed income housing. It will provide jobs for gazillions of people. We have an economic program that will transition from this fossil fuel-based economy to a green economy. Our agricultural value system will be different. All of this take people out of the street, give them jobs, give them dignity, give them a different lifestyle, so that you do not have as many people who are engaging in crime as you are having now. Finally, I want to tell you that terrorism in Nigeria is an industry. It's an industrial complex. I agree with our brother Adewole that until you take out the terrorists in government, you can't take out the terrorists on the street. Thank you very much.
Can you hold your mics? And I just want to ask you, I mean all of you, if you can hold your mics, I want to ask you this question. Do you support state police, Prince?
I have said it, and I keep repeating it. It's a very simple constitutional issue. We are in a divided...
Do you support state police, yes or no?
It's not a yes or no issue, it's a thinking issue.
Okay.
Don't put me in Tinubu's monolistic thinking.
No, but that's not what I'm doing.
No, let me tell you simple.
Okay.
It's a principle of law.
Yes. That
the sovereignty of Nigeria is divided between federal, state, and local. The legislative power includes the power, or should include the power, to police. Any level of government that has the legislative capacity to make laws should have capacity to create a police to enforce that law. It is not a political slogan. If I can make laws, I should be able to create police to enforce my law. No level of government should depend on another level to enforce its own law. If you come to River State and kill somebody, it's against the laws of River State to kill somebody in River State. River State should not need Abuja to help them apprehend you. Well, every level of government should be able to create its own law enforcement mechanism, including policing, because they all have their own courts.
Will I be right if I say you support? Does that mean you support state police?
I support police at every level of government. Federal, its own police. State, its own police. Local government, its own police, because that is how it should be in federalism. If you are practicing federalism, it's not a gift from the federal government to the state. It's an inherent right of every level of government to create its own policing system. The reason why you are discussing it because under the military, they use decree to abolish the policies, and they use decree to give you a constitution that is not federalistic enough.
Okay, so what's your position?
The current proposal is a trick.
Is a what?
It's a trick.
Trick?
A trick by President Tinubu to fool everybody.
Okay, Governor Peter Obi, state, where do you stand?
Well, if you had said police debate did not start today, it actually was mentioned when we were in office. Like he said, I believe that every level of government to the community should have a form of their own security system. It's not whether you call it state or police or anything. They should have their own security system. Like it's been mentioned here, issue of kidnapping. Everybody knows that as governor, if you kidnap somebody, you the kidnapper and your house will go down. So it's a very simple thing. We had a law to back it up. So every level of government should be able to have their own form of security system, including the community. That's why I said I bought vehicles for over 200 communities, including the markets, including the churches in Anambra State, to provide their own security. Not the way they are doing it now, as if it's a gift. It should be a properly articulated system that is properly supported and funded, so we don't create another arm that will become terrorists. Thank you.
Huh? Okay. Yeah, they'll just bring it. Yeah. Yes, you can proceed, Governor Amaechi. You can proceed.
Again, I come with the issue of experience. As the former chairman of Governors Forum, the Governors Forum met and decided to support, no, some of us decided to support state police, others refused. When we voted, those who refused won. And I thank God they won, because my idea has changed. In place of state police, I support community policing. But I need to talk with Vice President Atiku to know what his views about policing is. But for me, as an individual, do I support state police? No, I support community policing. Why? Balance of forces. If in every village you have community policing, then the criminals won't come into the village, because they know that as they are carrying weapons, there are enough policemen with weapons to resist them. The reason why they are successful is that there are not enough security forces in those communities where they invade. So for me, I support community policing, but for my presidential candidate, I need to speak with him to know what is his ideas.
Okay, is there a difference between state police and community police?
Yes.
What's the difference?
Yes. Don't forget, I'm the vice presidential candidate. It means that he and I will sit in virtually nearly every issue. We will discuss that. But what is the difference between state police? State police is funded by the state and controlled by the state. Community police is at the local level. And the idea is not who controls it, actually. The idea is to know who is a criminal, to know how to manage each community. So, for instance, I come from Ubima. If the criminal is in normal one, he can't come to Ubima because there is a police station and there are armed men who can take them on.
All right, yes.
Support federal police, I support state police, I support local government police, I support campus police, I support even township police. And we already have all of them. But I have a proposal. We must remove security vote from governors. Put it in an escrow account, so that if we hire state police, if they don't pay them, we pay them from that escrow account. It will be dangerous to have irresponsible police commissioners in the hands of the governors. I am a person who suffers from police abuse on a regular basis. It is in my own interest, personal safety, not to support irresponsible policing. Let's ensure that if we are a federation, we are truly a federation. And what that means is, I don't know why we are debating state police. The Constitution has made it clear. All the federating units must be able to control their own security. But your governors are stealing local government money. We must make sure that they have autonomy. We must also regulate and standardize. What do I mean by regulation? If any of the state police agencies go rogue, the federal police must be able to move in, take it over, and ensure that they stop acting rogue. That is the only part of my own caveat regarding state police. Otherwise, I support policing at all levels. And also, they always already have police at all levels. What is Amotekun? It's state police. What are the vigilantes doing? It's state policing. What is Agune Chamber? It's state police. The difference is Agune Chamber is rogue. We need somebody who will be able to go there and control them if the governor is misusing those powers. That's the only difference. Okay. But I want to tell my friend, Governor Amaechi, since he's not in touch with his presidential candidate, join us. You have lost touch with your presidential candidate. It's not too late to join our party and let us liberate this country. But you will not be vice presidential candidate to me. We have already chosen one.
Thank you very much. Okay, colleagues, we've been joined by the presidential candidate, former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke. You're welcome to the panel. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
I'd want to give you time to catch your breath because we've had a very riveting conversation cutting across the economy, the security, which is where we are. But before we go into discussion around just with this discourse on security, can you tell this organ what alternative policy propositions you have to deal with the insecurity challenges that Nigeria grapples with?
My colleagues, and my apologies for coming late. There's a general principle of governance that anything that is essential must be local. So for instance, if water or electricity were essential, you have to localize it. You couldn't produce water, for instance, from Sokoto and pipe it down to Port Harcourt. Security is local and has to be, it's essential and has to be local. Bearing that in mind, obviously I support devolution of policing. But that's only one aspect of it. The fear is the abuse. To get around that, I think the first charge is let's deal with our judiciary. As long as our judiciary is not up to scratch, then there'll always be that fear. So it works, judiciary and policing, it's all law and order. If we don't get the judiciary right, where there's recourse to abuse, because it will be abused. Even the federal police is abused daily. So the abuse will be there, but now you're devolving the abuse, as it were. If you have a weak judiciary, if you have the kind of judiciary we have now, and I'm not here to exculpate the judiciary, but if you don't do anything about it at that level, then the fears that have been expressed by various sources and various people would be real. Now, are we going to have a perfect system? No. But let's remember one thing. 80% of policing is intelligence gathering. Only 20% is enforcement. As it were, the intelligence aspect of our security is very, very weak. You would think, for instance, that Boko Haram, that has been around with us for over 15 years, we should have infiltrated their ranks by now to know who they are, how they operate, the source of funding. We're still groping in the dark. Foreign countries have more intelligence about our environment than we do. We spend more time in enforcement than intelligence gathering. And like I said earlier, intelligence gathering is 80% of policing work. But they go hand in hand. We can postulate all the virtues of local or state policing or local policing, community policing. But if you don't have a strong stopgap in the judiciary or the magisterial level or whatever levels,
okay,
I think it'll be an exercise in futility. Thank you.
And the question is, what's your position on fuel subsidy? Do you support its removal, or its, I wouldn't say retention now, because it's non-existent at the moment. But what's your position on fuel subsidy?
You can't remove what doesn't exist. I postulate there's nothing like fuel subsidy. You see, from every barrel of oil, there are about 7 or 8 products, depending on the type of crude oil you have. Some even have as much as 12, right? The ones that really pertain or concern us are PMS, petrol, and diesel, largely, maybe LPG. Now, if you refine it, there's some that, like aviation fuel and all that, those that have premium value. Petrol, because it's an engine, and diesel, because it's a fuel that runs your economy, and it's a gift that nature has provided us with. Honestly, economically, there is no subsidy in that thing, right? Because you see, when we were doing swaps, we said about 300,000 barrels of oil in exchange for petrol. No one ever mentioned the byproducts. No one knows what went to it. And that's why I believe it's the biggest scam that has been perpetrated in this country. I don't believe there's a subsidy. But even they're looking at it from another angle. If you, for instance, the moderator, you are a farmer, you produce 10 tons of maize annually, and you consume one to keep your workers going, to keep your family going, are you subsidizing your family? This is a gift that nature's endowed us with. We cannot compare the price of petrol, where we produce or we have the raw material for, with that operating in countries that do not have. Okay. Right? You've got to use what you've got to get what you want. And okay. So one last word. For me, the overall essence of government is productivity of its people. So if that is the vision or the mission statement of government, all the factors that have to do with productivity must be made abundantly available. Okay. We have all known forms of energy, from the crudest, which is slavery. Slavery was about energy, to hydrocarbons, solar, water, you name it. The other argument people come up with, which I find nonsensical, is that, if energy is cheap here, if petrol is cheap here, it'll find its way across the borders. Are you going to punish your citizens due to your inability to police your borders? And besides, you can dye your petrol a peculiar color. You have NIA and all these agencies around, and they can trace it back. But I think there's a lot of mental laziness when it comes to the administration of the country.
Okay. Well, the question is, if the federal government told us last week that we saved as a country 15.8 trillion, so where did that savings come from? If you say there's actually no subsidy anywhere, where did the savings come from then?
That's if you believe what they say.
Are you saying the federal government is lying to us?
That's if you believe what they say. I'll repeat that. I don't believe what they say. And I've been privileged to be involved. This whole subsidy thing started during the reign of General Abacha, right? And I was a member of the National Economic Intelligence Committee at the time. And we went through the books one after the other in great detail. You can sell petrol in this country at 200 naira a liter if you wanted to, because there are other products to be sold. And besides, it's the engine of your economy. The inflation you fight today is, you see, look, the central bank puts interest at 30-something%. That is negative for productivity. And they'll tell you it's based on inflation. It's not the interest rates on the banks that cause inflation. It's the ballooning of government. Okay. Spending recklessly and not investigating the things that really cause. Our monetary policy and fiscal policy are disconnected completely. One works against the other.
Okay.
National. Now, in Nigeria, it seems as if it is all politics without governance. We don't know where policy should stop and governance should begin. Year in, year out, we always ask for change. What change in particular? Now, we have candidates, very intelligent, bright candidates. I must give kudos. I'm Cross River. I'm the former governor of Cross River State. Yeah, I must have to acknowledge that. Now, we have very intelligent candidates, Mr. P2B, and the likes of, and everybody. But the question is this. Thank you. What change? What policy drive? What consistency are we bringing to the table, other than winning elections in Nigeria?
Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Chioma Emuka. I'm directing my questions to our former governor, Mr. Peter Obi. Under Maslow's hierarchy of need, we know that in that pyramid, the widest part of it talks about food and shelter. And in Nigeria today, we are living an austere life. Abject poverty has taken over. And under your campaign, there's this slogan, "We don't give shishi."
Madam, your question.
Yes, that's the question.
Your question.
Under that, people are saying that we don't give shishi means forget prosperity and welfare of the people. So, sir, we want to, that's what people are saying. Why some people are saying,
Thank you.
forget private commercial.
Thank you.
Throw my life on it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Number 3.
No, I'm next.
Okay.
We have always been talking about we are the leaders of tomorrow.
Okay.
I am getting older.
Okay.
I cannot even afford.
Observed over the years that INEC spends billions, hundreds of billions conducting elections. People stay in the sun, under the sun, morning till evening to cast their vote. But ultimately, the decision of who gets elected lies with the courts. It's the courts that decide who becomes elected into a political office.
Okay.
So my question is, what are you going to do to ensure that the civic responsibility of our people, as we are told in social studies, casting our vote, is transferred back to the people, and election-connected litigations are reduced to the bare minimum?
Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Oba Jefani from MBA Owerri branch. The problem of Nigeria is institutional failure. The individuals are stronger than the institution. And in a situation where the individuals are stronger than the institution will be as good as dead.
Your question.
Your Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, I have a personal question to you on behalf of the bar. Please, the question is, what will you do if you happen to emerge as the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, on the issues of individual being stronger than the institution? And what would this institution, how would this institution regain its powerful nature? Thank you, sir.
That question.
Candic Elijah, my question is to all the candidates. And I want to know, our country is divided, very divided along ethnic, religious, and other divides. So how will you bring about unity? Because when we have issues and they are not addressed as a national issue, but ethnicity and religion comes to play,
okay,
we cannot move forward. Then also, what about the right to self-defense?
I'm sorry, we can only take one. We can only take one. Thank you very much.
Blessing Isaac, and I stand here to ask this question as it affects democracy and governance. Democracy and governance, you know, when we refer to its dichotomy for the South and northern Nigeria, for instance, and other parts of the country as well, can we say that Nigeria has positively benefited from the dividends of democracy and governance as it stands today? Or is democracy particularly for the political elites of this country?
Thank you. I'll take. Madam, yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Judahana Sylvanus Ekeng, and my question is directed to Sir Peter Obi. Have you considered that technology may be the major solution to the problems in this country as far as security is concerned?
Okay.
Statistically, persons over 23 have increased in the amount of bank apps that they have. Have we considered the possibility of geo-tracking, that a person who is facing an insecurity crisis can easily tap an app on their phone and inform the government of their last known location? Have we considered technology as a means to address issues of insecurity?
Thank you. The lady.
Okay. My name is Abdurazak Saadatu, and my question is directed to all the presidential aspirants here. Now, you made mention of providing long-term solutions to the insecurity issues that is currently ravaging Nigeria. Now, the issue is that we need a short-term solutions. What are those short-term solutions you have for us?
Okay. Now to the Senator.
I just want to ask all the presidential candidates of all the political parties here to respond to this question. In a country where the president declared that it is his turn, in a country where the president said all is fair in politics, in a country where the president says grab it and run away with it, what are you individually and your party doing to make sure that election will count and our votes will be protected? Individually, you and your political party, what are you going to do, or what are you doing to make sure that votes will count and the process will be transparent in a country where there's already a declaration by a president.
Okay, no, just hold on.
Abba, the Premier Bar of Africa. My question is directed to Mr. Peter Obi. We have 25 million out of school children. We have 17 million naira in die starvation currently. We have over 40% unemployment rate, and we have over 60% of multi-dimensional poverty in all areas of human affairs.
Okay.
What can you do, and how can you do to remedy this situation within a timeline of 3 years?
Thank you very much.
The question is this. I am surprised.
Who are you? Can you introduce yourself?
My name is His Royal Highness Oba Rufus Olarewaju Ajayi Arilewola II.
Kábíyèsí.
Thank you very much. I am surprised none of the presidential candidates say anything about the fundamental flaw of Nigerian character in the constitution that we are operating right now. God, when He created this world, told us, let there be light, let there be human being. God did not say, let there be armed robbers. God did not say, let there be insecurity.
Okay.
We know Jesus Christ died in between two thieves. We know there must be more bad people in society than the good ones. Yes, what I'm trying to say is that I want them to say something. Are they going to change this constitution so that we have a good constitution that we say, let there be light, let there be good people, let there be security, don't let there be armed robbers.
Thank you.
Understand me?
To the clergy.
Basically, my question is just to Mr. Peter Obi. What are the very first 3 things you are going to do the first year you come into office as the President of Nigeria, knowing that you have been fighting corruption, and that once you get into that seat, corruption will fight back? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Then the gentleman.
Ali Chibuzo. Now, we all know how APC came about by several parties coming together. Several parties coming together to form the APC. Now, my question goes to Your Excellency, Mr. Rotimi Amaechi. You made bold to say that Mr. Sowore cannot win the presidential election. With all due respect, I also make bold to say that, with all due respect, sir, he also cannot win the presidential election. Why can't all of you come together to have one party?
Okay.
Because we know that Mr. Peter Obi is the most popular of all the candidates here. So why can't you come together and give him the support to go against the status quo? Thank you very much.
My name is Prince Charles Ibe. I am from Enugu State. My question is on what bothers all of us. Number 1, I am from the north. I am an Hausa man. I am from the east. I'm an Igbo man. I am from Lagos. I am a Yoruba man.
The question.
How do we deal with the issue of ethnicity in this land?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I will start with the person who said, I can't win the election. You know what I wanted to ask where he comes from. Where he comes from will give you the reason why he's asking the question. But again, among the opposition, the Adewole Adebayo ticket appears to be the brightest. If you look in this hall, I'm the politician. Don't shout. Most of you either be in court or waiting for court cases. I'm the politician. I've been a politician since the age of 22. I'm 61 today. So imagine 40-something years ago. Now, we have discussed coalition, so I'm surprised he's bringing it back. I will say to him, we are working hard, we need him on board to ensure that Adewole Adebayo ticket wins the election. Now, I would like to answer the guy who asked about all is fair in politics. I think it was Dino. What the president has done is that the president has declared war against Nigerians. He says all is fair in politics. And I agree with him, all is fair in Nigerian politics. We will not come to court. Don't bother your head. Don't bother yourself. Election will be won and lost on the field. Because the president has said you must win on the field. Because the court has become unnecessary arbiter of nothing. So I agree with the president that he says all is fair in politics. You saw You saw Oshun, right? Citizens had their own matches, had their own ballot papers, had everything to themselves, right? If INEC man comes, they say, show us the result sheet. You must show the result sheet. If you don't show the result sheet, there will be no what? They won't let you do. When they finish seeing the result sheet, they say, show us the ballot papers. You show the ballot, but they count the ballot papers. When they finish counting and it's the same, they say, okay, let's start voting. After voting, what did they do? They say upload. Citizens' rights and citizens' enforcement of law. They say upload. They say you can't upload here. The one I love most was in Oshun. They hired a bus, put the man and the policeman inside the bus and drove into where they can get service to upload. When he uploaded, they left him to go. We will decide the president of Nigeria. You know why? Alibaba and the 40 thieves will not allow you to win. Because stealing is become a culture. I'm a student of culture. So the only way you can stop a thief is by making sure he does not win.
Okay.
That's my response to that. Unity. Check the ticket. Atiku and I are the only detribalized Nigerians on the ticket. Check Atiku. Check all his appointments. Check me. Check all my appointments. When I was Minister for Transport, I had Mamora as head of agencies. I had George Moalo as head of agencies. I had Dakuku as head of agencies. I had Hadiza as a head of agency. They come from different parts of Nigeria, including George Moalo. I am not President Tinubu. I won't appoint everybody from River State. Neither will Atiku appoint everybody from the north. Vote for us.
Governor Amaechi, these people you called, some will say you didn't appoint them. The president appointed them.
Oh, wait, okay, well, you're correct. I was a minister. But the law of all the laws say they shall be nominated by the Minister for Transport. That's what the law. Section 1 of MPA law says the Minister for Transport will nominate, and I nominated Hadiza. Go and ask her. And when I felt I was tired that she was not doing what I wanted her to do to get MPA to grow, I removed her and I went to the president.
Okay.
Asked George Moalo. I nominated George Moalo as, listen, when he walked into my office and said, we are being cheated from the southeast. I said, what are you being cheated for? He said, no appointment. I said, okay, get ready, you will get an appointment. And he did. Go and ask Mamora. Mamora was my mate as speaker. I told Mamora, the best I can do for you is head of agency, and I did. So come on.
Okay.
The same with Atiku.
Okay, thank you very much, Governor Peter Obi.
Well, we are only told to answer. We are going to answer the questions that are direct to us. The first is somebody who talked about poverty. Nigeria, let me start by telling you, Nigeria is not a poor country. Nigeria is poor because those of us who are leaders are stealing the wealth of Nigeria and driving Nigeria into poverty. We can decide Nigeria is poor today because it's not a productive country. Somebody came here and talked about hunger. Yes, today Nigeria is one of the hungriest countries of the world. We got worse in the past 3 years, where we now move from where we are to 109 in the hungriest country. Some of you might not know that in the past 2 years, Ukraine, that is at war, gave us grain to fight hunger. We are hungry because Nigeria is not a productive country. If we decide today to invest in critical areas of development, which include pulling people out of poverty, by investing in agriculture, we can make more money from agriculture than we make from oil. Countries are doing it. And I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 countries around us to show example. Today, our most staple food is rice. Nigeria produces less than 10 million tons of unmilled rice. A tiny country like Bangladesh produces 60 million tons of unmilled rice, almost 10 times what Nigeria will produce. Bangladesh size is 148,000 square kilometers. That is the size of Bangladesh. That is the size of our two biggest states. Niger State at 76.3 and Borno at 70.8 put together is 147,000. So these two states are about the size of Bangladesh, and Bangladesh have 170 million people. Is heavily dense. So we have the space. Today, we are having problem with Borno State because we have Sambisa Forest. Sambisa Forest is a land occupying area of 60,000 square kilometers. That's 3 times the size of Israel. Israel is exporting food. Israel is 22,000 square kilometers. If you times it by 3, 66. We have one state that is listening. We can produce food, but people don't want us to produce food. We can go on and on. Ethiopia is exporting tea, coffee. Everybody, Sierra Leone, small countries. We have Taraba, 54,000 square kilometers. We Mambila that can produce tea. Nobody is doing that. We are going to share oil money. Tiny countries like Netherlands produces 120 billion euros of agricultural material. Without water, there are 33,000 square kilometers. Niger State is 76.3, so it's 2.5 times the size of Netherlands. I can go on and on. So we don't have any problem with poverty.
Okay.
What we have is that we need to move the country from consumption to production. When you have people stealing public money, let me tell you what you do. You kill entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Because people are making money without contributing anything. You kill professionalism because people are making money without producing anything. You kill hard work. That is it.
Okay.
So that is not that particular question. The next question I was asked particularly is issue of religion. Somebody mentioned issue of people being stronger than government. Nobody is stronger than government. It is the people in government that are allowing the rascality to continue. Otherwise, we have law, and nobody is above the law anywhere. Otherwise, let that person who is stronger than government go to even Cotonou here and do it. They will arrest him, but they are here causing confusion. Okay. The question of ethnicism, we don't have ethnic or religious problem. It is politicians that are dividing us. No tribe buys bread cheaper. No tribe buys food cheaper. It's politicians that are dividing us because we don't want to be divided. And finally, all is fair in politics. Yes, all is fair in politics because when people have broken the rules and everything, today in Nigeria, we have a situation where we are saying, what is our qualification to be president? None of you know. What is qualification to be president of Nigeria or governor? Nobody knows.
It's in the constitution.
No, it's in the constitution. Our own National Assembly said that forgery is not an offense in electoral matter. Our own assembly said that nothing is. So when we have a case of where we the leaders, a case of where lunatics have taken over the asylum and decided to cancel all laws that makes it work. So all is fair because that's what we need to sustain the rascality.
Governor Obi, I don't know if I heard you clearly. Did you say the National Assembly said funding is not? Is that what you said?
Forgery is not a...
Huh?
Yes.
Funding?
Forgery.
Forgery. Oh.
Forgery is no longer an offense in electoral matter. So because of it now, we have all is fair. You can't have it anywhere.
No, Governor Peter Obi, I think let's put things in perspective. What they did to the Electoral Act was to say that non-qualification was no longer an election petitions matter.
That is forgery. That is it. No qualification. So there's no qualification. That means all is fair. All is fair is all is fair.
But it's still a criminal case.
No, it's an electoral matter.
Yeah.
In electoral matter.
Yeah.
If you remove it in electoral matter, why are you going to say it's a problem in another matter? We removed it where it needs to. the process through which people come into office is far more fundamental than what they do in that office.
Okay.
That's where we'll start.
Thank you.
Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. If you take one general question that was asked to the candidates.
What we need to understand is that government reflects the level of consciousness of the people. At no time have we been faced with an opportunity. Moderator, maybe you have one house first. Maybe you have one house. Go ahead, start.
Colleagues, we're running out of time, and please let's listen to the presidential candidate of the SDP. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Okay. Let us get something clear. Today we are here for people's politics and governance. It starts with the people. For you to get a government of your choice is your fundamental right. And if you get it wrong, you will only be complaining from generation to generation. The problems identified by the interveners here has to do with poverty, for example, and why we don't get government right. The only way we can get it right is to govern according to the Constitution of Nigeria.
Okay.
According to Chapter 2, Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy.
Okay.
It is not an individual thing. It is a process thing. For example, here, you are talking of food insecurity. I don't know about others, but I can say categorically, I am the only one on this stage who is a net producer and exporter of agricultural products. I have farms in 11 states. I produce, even in my own residence, you can't come to my residence without seeing dozens of cattle.
Okay.
And I am one of the largest producers of rice by Arewa farms. Okay. What I'm bringing out is that if you listen to my good brother, Governor Peter Obi, he's a net importer. He imports and sells. Next, and all those things that he does. No investment personal in agriculture, no investment of the state in agriculture. Therefore, you cannot talk of food security by saying that we must do agriculture when you have had opportunity to do it, you don't do it. Next thing is that all the questions pertaining to institution not being strong and all of that, let me say one thing clearly. We don't have a government, not only the one who is there now by President Tinubu. Since 1999, we have not had a government close to what we wrote in the Constitution as a government.
Okay.
So when you don't have a government, all the ideas you are bringing, using technology, we can disagree on policies. The nature of politics is that politicians, political parties will disagree on policies.
Okay.
But what you cannot disagree upon are three things. One, the method of forming a government by democratic elections. Two, the method of governing according to law. Appropriation Act must be obeyed. The priorities in Chapter 2 of the Constitution must be implemented. Three, there must be accountability and running away from corruption. If these are not your criteria, you will keep voting government after government, and the generation will pass away, and the problems that are simple to solve will remain with us for as long as possible. So your choice is to vote candidates and parties according to the issues and according to verifiable records. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor.
Well, I'm only interested in two of the questions asked. One was from Dino Melai, my former friend. Yes. And he was asking, and I agree with him truthfully, that how are we going to protect our votes? In case you don't know, there are people in this hall in large numbers in 2023 who voted in an election, said they won, and abandoned the mandate. They did nothing to fight for their mandate. Don't make that mistake of voting for those kind of people again in your life. I'm serious. I am standing here. If anybody takes a vote on an election I won, the person will not be president of Nigeria. I can assure you that. Even if we take my life. And it is the reason why we must not rely on judges and lawyers to determine our elections. I came here because I was told that to win election in Nigeria, you must be friendly with lawyers and judges. We don't want our elections to go to your courts again. We must determine the winner of the election on the day of the election, so that the only thing a lawyer will do in an election is to help us swear in the winner of the election. Nothing more, nothing less. If we can't get that, we shut down the country until we get the right leader who won an election. Second question is technology. Somebody asked that nobody spoke about technology. I'm the only person who has spoken about technology here today. And somebody was describing the Maslow hierarchy of needs. The one you know is outdated. The Maslow hierarchy of needs today, the number one need in that hierarchy is internet, data. Without it, you are dead. And that is what we want to bring into our country, to bring about a new economic order that is driven by cutting-edge technology. Our security, our food production, food security, even the calculation of how much we make, revenue and how it is leaking, will be done by blockchain technology. We are no longer going to rely on men in Agbada to be doing our accounting. They are stolen enough. Finally, and I promise you, anybody who stole from Nigeria in the past, I will make them vomit it as the president of Nigeria. I will create a special account where you will vomit the money, and we will use it to train our children that you deprive of education. Okay. We'll use it to pay. Don't stop me. When I'm talking about very important issues, you want to intervene. No, don't do that. We will use it to pay for our pensioners, our teachers, our soldiers, our policemen. It is not a cliche. People stole and ruined this country. We cannot be pretending that we will be friends with them when we are in government. Yes, we will be friends with you when you come forward, confess, and relinquish what you have stolen. But we will not be friends with you because you join our political party, which is what the ruling party is doing. By the way, some of the people on these people were part of the ruling party before. They can be APC tomorrow by the time you wake up. Vote for the guys who have ideas and who have the courage to protect their ideas and create a brand new country. Vote for Sowore, you will never regret it.
Okay. No, I said start from Sowore.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, the audience, lest we forget, my friend, the vice presidential candidate for APM, lest we forget, is my friend, was DGSSS that tried to shut down the National Assembly. And I remember another friend of mine there, Gbajabi Amila, I recall him trying to jump the fence at the onslaught of his men. So let's be careful what we pray for. Having said that, he wants to be vice president under a democratic system now. The fundamental problem with Nigeria is leadership. And we are gathered here to determine what will be the appropriate leadership. If we get the leadership right, literally everything will fall into place. We need to ask ourselves, what is the fundamental essence of government? I dare say it is the optimal productivity of her citizens within a safe and orderly environment. If that is the mission statement of every government, then it leads to the next question, ethnicity. We don't hate ourselves. The issue is inadequacy. You see, when there's not enough to go around, I've got to use what I've got to get what I want. So in the face of the broad and general inadequacy in our society, I'm going to pick my tribe as an advantage over yours, or over my competitors, or my religion. So if we are able to build a country that can adequately cater for all of us, who cares if you're from the north or the south, or you're Hausa, you're Igbo, or Efik, or whatever you are? Who cares what religion you belong to? That's private to you. So until we address that, the issue of inadequacies in our society, in our country, ethnicity, religion, and all that has to do with it will come to play. In my state, Cross River, there are 29 ethnic groups, and they play each other because there's not enough to go around.
Okay.
The next thing, no.
Can this be the last?
Wait.
Can this be the last, please?
No, well.
The last, please.
Okay. Someone asked about coalitions. Let me say this. We operate a democratic system, fine. But there are two types of governance systems. The presidential, the parliamentary, and a hybrid sort of. The presidential works efficiently when there are two major parties, because there's an opposition. In the parliamentary system, you can have several parties, and that which has the majority in parliament produces the prime minister. But honestly, and I agree with this question, we all have to come together to operate the presidential system, not just this run of 27, but generally going forward.
Okay.
There was some sense in the government setting up SDP, NRC. Unfortunately, usually the parties that set up the government and not the government that sets up a party. So that was a twist in there. But really, for our presidential system to work, there must be two major platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I? You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to do what I don't really believe in doing, but sometimes it gives me an escape route by stating that I stand on the already established protocol. You know, sometimes from my background, when you say you stand on something or you agreed with something, if you don't really know the details, I think it is like trying to commit suicide. But all the same, I think in this very distinguished gathering, I can afford to just borrow and say I stand on the existing protocol which was established in my absence. I would like first of all to apologize for not coming on time because I spent almost 1.5 hours between the gate to this room. It's not really my fault, but I think because this gathering is a very important one to all of us in Nigeria. So please forgive me for the late coming. Before I attempt to maybe say 1 or 2 things on the questions, I would like to maybe again borrow from my background as a social scientist. In Nigeria, we are very, very happy to jump into a debate or a conversation without really understanding what the topic is or what the subjects are. Here, I'm referring to the fact that we are all in agreement that there is a problem in Nigeria. But the question, which may sound so simple, but still very difficult to answer, and which is still not yet answered, is what is the problem with Nigeria? We even have some books written by very eminent Nigerians trying to, understand or tell us what they think the problem of Nigeria is. I was able to hear some issues being mentioned about corruption, ethnicity, religion, maybe injustice generally, and maybe to some extent also lack of adherence to the rule of law. But if we are really still to ask, have we gotten a definition of the problem with Nigeria? If we are not able to do that, maybe that is the starting point, especially for those of us in opposition. We seem to understand the problem, so to speak, but the way we act differently, which means our belief and our understanding of the problem is not really what we think it is. So maybe we'll try in the next couple of months, since the campaign has started, to do what Governor Peter Obi said, but I don't want to set another debate because we have been very close with him, even before I ventured into politics. In our convention in Bauchi about 2 weeks ago, I said as the chairman of that convention that we are set to reset. Now, I heard Mr. Peter Obi some few days ago when he gave a press conference talking about redesigning or resetting Nigeria. So at least you can see that the opposition are coming closer. And maybe there are a lot of other details that we may need to sit down and thrash out. But when you talk about 3 top priorities, sometimes I don't know what is sacrosanct about 100 days. I've been trying to follow 100 days since maybe the time I was in school. But then the argument being pushed forward don't seem to tally. Why 100 days? If someone is elected in Nigeria, is supposed to spend 4 years. But now somebody is saying 100 days. And there's no provision that if you don't really perform within the first 100 days, there is any sanction that is reserved for you. And we're not even near any election. Not even to talk of like the way they do in the United States midterm. Our election is first and last when the term expires. So, but 100 days, to answer the question, the first and most important thing to do is to be able to pick people in the cabinet that have quality and that have capacity. Not people that you like or people that you feel should be close to you. We were there, we knew the major problem of democracy in Nigeria from the onset in 1999 has been continuous ignorance of security vetting reports being put forward to executives, whether at the state level or even at the federal level, where people that are about to be nominated to sensitive offices may not have a favorable vetting report, but they will still go ahead using their executive power to appoint them. And that is from day one, that government has been doomed to fail.
Okay.
We have witnessed it, we have seen it. So of what essence is the vetting report? And again, when you are looking for people to place in government positions, you have to really look at the background very well. Anybody that is being touted for appointment can be placed in government, but let him be placed properly. But taking a square peg in a round hole is not really the best for us. And again, within the first 100 days, the rhetorics about whether you want to reverse a major policy that has affected life or whether you want to sustain it, again, that is something that cannot be said in a superficial manner.
Okay.
It is something that ought to really be even subjected to a debate by the larger Nigerian society or community.
Okay.
And therefore, I think the way we go about setting up to start our administration whenever we win election, I think it should be revisited.
Okay.
And then lastly,
no, it's fine. You've answered all the questions.
okay. Lastly, due to time, I would like to say we have an issue in this country. It is not about the party in government or those in opposition. It is all of us. And what is that? We all know what is supposed to be done, but none of us, or few of us, are attempting to do it. And we are never questioned, and nobody questioned them, or nobody questioned us. And I think until we decided that yes, Nigeria is supposed to be an egalitarian society.
Okay.
All Nigerians must be equal before the law.
Okay.
Until we are ready to do that, we will remain at the station for a very long time to come.
All right, thank you.
But unfortunately, in this current dispensation, if we are able to get into government, definitely things must change.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, if it's not fair.
No, if it's not fair. Governor Duke?
Why should I accept something that is wrong? If I agree with him. If it's not fair, I will not accept it. Doesn't mean I go to the court. I may not go to the court, but personally, I will not accept it.
Governor Obi?
I win.
Laura?
Definitely, if it is free and fair, we will accept. If not, we will not accept.
Dr. Amaechi. There will be no need for the question. We are the most tribalized candidates, if you look at where we're coming from. So we win. We are not Yoruba, we are not Igbo, we are not Hausa, we are Nigerian candidates.
There is no way we can win if we don't fight. And there's no way we can lose since we are fighters. Yes, we will win. No, we will not accede if it's not free, fair, and credible. Thank you.
Photo shoot for all of us. And Mr. Clement Umoese, and please may you come up to make a presentation of the souvenirs to them. Please, can we just stay for the, no, wait. Yes, thank you all. I'm calling on Mr. Solomon Omo to present. I think we'll start with the moderator who has done an excellent job, Mr. Todo Samson.
This is it? Yes. Okay. Where's the camera people?
Camera, please.
You on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association, you've done an excellent job as a moderator. Well done.
Thank you. Next person is Mr. His Excellency, Rotimi Amaechi.
Your Excellency, I have the I have Your Excellency Rotimi Amaechi, Right Honorable. I have the singular honor and privilege of presenting this to you for your participation and contribution in this occasion. Nigeria is evolving. I wish you the best.
So when they say, why are we being called Excellency? I say because he has not run an election before, so he wouldn't know what's going on.
I think he has run. And we...
Comrade, I have the singular honor and privilege of presenting this to you on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association for your participation and contribution in the very seminal discussions we've had. We hope, pray, that all of us will learn lessons from this, and I wish us all the best.
The reason I told Amaechi why he should not answer Excellency is because they have not done anything excellent in this country.
This to you on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association for your contribution and Nigerian Bar Association, for which you are one of us. I have the singular honor and privilege of presenting this to you for your contribution in that seminal discussion. Nigeria is an evolving democracy. I wish us the best.